hold on there. I gotta sign you in. Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right? Wait! Don't go just yet. I've been practicing for this. Here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna in Halcyon. Please state your name for the records. Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill. We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago. Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cannibals and whatnot. But that's all outside our walls. Mostly.
Did he just say raptidons and cannibals? I can't wait.
Oh, sure. They make Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going, and the sulfur smell mostly covers up the fishy smell. Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say on that subject. Kinda goes over my head, though. Mr. Sanjar will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you? Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor? I got this Rizzo's Rangers tossball poster coming in on the next sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in? Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
What are the chances of all the times and places we could have been born?
Yeah.
We're here, light years from Earth, going about our life.
Every time the punch clock heals, a worker earns his meals.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, I thought it was
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood, so it's sliding. All over the place, trying to crawl away. Getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud. Don't interrupt, it's rude. But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, shit, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn wrapped out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you? Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you? Outstanding! What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger? Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You have to get me something to clear my head. Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, well, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're very good. I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set. Well, they work. We got a deal or what?
Velma seem out of sorts to you?
She's always cranky.
If Velma's capable of running the warehouse... Hello, dearie. Why, I don't believe I've seen you before. And with sweet cheeks like those, I'd remember.
Quite the bedside manner, lady.
Well, it's so rare I get the pleasure of new company. What can Auntie Abigail do for you? And what a helpful young man you are. Nothing like a little pill to liven up the spirits.
Whiskey helps, too.
Please leave medical advice to the professionals. Now, dearie, who's this pickup for? Oh, her. It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Contribute like the rest of us. Now I've gone and said too much. And you know me, dearie. I don't like to pry. I'm afraid not. Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Even I can't access them. Oh, you flatter an old woman. Me, I'm just here to be a pretty face for the customers. And to keep an extra key to the supply room, for all the times Dr. Williams misplaced his. The one upstairs, where we store our medicines. In the town graveyard, I'm afraid. Poor man was always searching for the flower of enlightenment. On the way, he tried some rather daring substance combinations. It's a philosophist symbol. The graveyard's near the southern ruins. You're certainly welcome to pay or risk.
You're gonna go tussle with some raptidons? Because I've been practicing my dropkick.
Do be careful. I'd hate for anything to happen to you, dearie. Chin up, dearie. If Velma's capable of running the warehouse, she can certainly pick up her own caffeinol.
Don't be so hard on her. With Brad's missing, she's working doubles.
The charmer. Oh, the...
Says someone who's never had any fun.
Exactly. See? I'm glad someone on your crew's got some sensible... Got her head on straight. Whew, that hits the spot. Right in the, Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Yes. We're in business. Let's go.
That was fast. I gotta see about stocking some on the ship.
You be careful. The first one's free. After that, they'll offer you gainful employment. Great. Where to? Oh, Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. He's running the giant radio tower we lovingly call Devil's Peak. We'll be going south and west, mostly along the road till we're past Fallbrook. Out there, there's a western slope that'll lead us through some fun. You like hunting, right? That's fun. If you're more of a spelunker, Rotting River will take you into the mountain caverns. We can discuss options when we get closer. That said, 3's already a crowd. I don't mind waiting somewhere until you got a spot open.
Mighty big gun you got there. I'm looking forward to seeing you use it. That's a pretty big gun for a hunter.
I don't know what the game's like on Terra 2, but out here, the daintier weapons ain't gonna cut it. Manosaurs require stopping power.
Yeah, but what's left after you're done with them?
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir. Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for you today? You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that. I still don't know anything about, but I'll warn you. Grim wore her patience thin a long time ago. Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right. Laws, no. Sometimes it... So I can talk to him, of course. Sort of the strong... Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with... I couldn't. Hey, maybe you could ask him for me. I mean, a no would still be bad, but it won't be quite as... Oh, Mr. Nandi's doing that. He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intensity, you know? Like, plus, he's got great legs.
Good to have standards, I guess.
I know what I'm looking for. You think that's what I'm looking for? Not in Stellar Bay. Everyone else who isn't taken. Besides, a man with a good... Sorry.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up. Well, if you're that friendly about it, then you definitely aren't one of Catherine's sublight toughs. My mistake. I hope you can forgive. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walk. Braxton. He's in charge of getting the... He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of... I can't keep work since you don't seem to be constrained yourself. Tell him Velma said to get his lazy ass down here, or she might start noticing those extra jugs he's... Something else on your mind? This again? I swear, this is the last time You can tell Grim his poster came in. You can also tell him I got a better offer. That about cover it? She runs the betting parlor across. She asked me about the poster once. Damn. It's staying locked up in my office until Nell shows with her money. No. I paid Sublight for it. So, it's mine. Sure can. Sure. And once you finish helping me... Sure can. Fine by... Caleb Herrick runs the auto load. He and his whole crew... You mind slapping him? I'm joking. If you can find a way to get him back to work, I'll make it worth your while. Unless you're here to tell me he... I don't have the bits for it, plain and simple. Besides, if I make an exception... Hard workers? Caleb and his crew have it better than anyone else. If Caleb wants to keep this job, he'd bet... Maybe so, but I bet you Caleb runs out of bits first. He says he's got a stash to tide his crew over. Could be he's all... For running me ragged while he takes an Fine. Stealing such a nap. And yeah, let's just say I've noticed... We're not like those... Besides... Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has a mouth.
Smells like rat in here. Oh, it does work. I wonder sometimes what they're doing on other colonies.
Uh-huh.
Think they're watching the same serials, following the same tossball games?
Wrap musk and painted eyes, right here.
Sir, please, I need your help. I can Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing. Please, you have to help.
It's more dissolving.
That is... Oh, I just knew you were a good person. He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned him about... Please. Well, I've got some bits saved up for... He's been pining for an adventure. I warned him. A raptidon would snap. He should have listened to... He's been listening to those awful broadcasts. And now I just know my boys run off to Amber Heights. That is, if a manta queen...
If a queen got to him, he died quick. Ought to be thankful for that. Most aren't.
Oh, where's my fainting chair? Those low-life degenerates, leading innocent boys into a life of danger. Oh, they make it sound so exciting, like it's noble to risk it. How noble is it to worry your loved ones? Not at all, I say. If they weren't holed up... That old settlement, southwest of Stellar Bay. Or that he never made it. Or maybe marauders got him, pulled all his teeth out, crushed him into their drugs and made him... Think you look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? And if you find any of them iconoclast...
Help! Someone's been killed!
I think I'm gonna be sick. No! I just stepped in a dead man's blood. If you're going into the... Now, if...
Whatever you do, don't mention Tossball to Isaac. He'll never hear the end.
You know, I haven't seen him in a while.
In an hour-long rant about mostly colonists, you'd be thankful. We don't get many outsiders.
Bay ain't safe these days. What's the world coming to?
Not much I can do for this guy.
Watch your step if you venture outside the walls.
You startled me. Don't sneak up. Everything's spinning. I'm just gonna take it easy, okay?
What's that smell coming out of Celia's apartment?
Probably whatever she bought from that guy who sells animal parts.
Hey! Carry on.
Got any news from the rest of Halcyon?
I shipped with a merc who had a gun like yours, Nyoka. He polished it, sang to it, slept with it. Not like that, as far as I know.
Sounds like he had himself a discerning palate. Where are you going with this?
He couldn't hit the broadside of an assault cruiser, hence the tin shredder.
Wouldn't be the first man I met bearing compensation for his lack of skill.
I hear those rich people in Byzantium pay a handsome bid for rap music. New face, huh? A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here, let me buy you a drink. Consider it an MSI welcome. Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell, and revel with us? Sure thing. If I knew that, I'd have tried it. Talking reasonably got me nowhere. Maybe the others wanted to blackmail her. But we're above that. Besides, them are just rumored. Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hand. Well, as long as we... But until the windfall's gone, we're riding high. See, we just walked out on our work. It ain't any one thing but the sum of it all, having to work longer shifts for less bits. Our supervisor, Velma, goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. Velma refuses to negotiate, so we're refusing to work. We won't go back until she agrees to pay us fair and proper. Us on Monarch, we're free from the board, you know? We have the right to lobby for better hours and pay. I would never endorse such an untoward tactic, you know, but, well, there's rumors that Velma... So far it's just gossip, you know, but if there was any proof to be had, it'd be in the Saltuna warehouse, I reckon. Why don't you grab it? Sure thing. Nope. I'm calling her bluff. If she wants to threaten us, we'll see how she likes it when Sanjar...
If I never smell another raft, it'll be too... too soon.
Weren't you a sawbones? Figured you ought to have smelled worse.
Sure, but those things reek like bad cologne. It's different.
I'm with you there. At least humans have the courtesy to wait. A while before their bodies start to stink.
Most of them.
I'd give you a friend.
Who spat in your
You notice my mood?
I could be seeing triple.
Well, you try wrangling half a Anyway.
That don't seem fair. You think maybe you could... Oh. Well, thanks for trying anyway. Guess I'd still be wondering otherwise. Take a few bits and head on down to the bar. I'd show you around, but I gotta keep watch. Just in case someone else comes along.
Ooh, you're the new face. So who do you follow? Aren't they just? When I get to worrying about most of the time. So.
Graham's always fill. All it means is the tossball games get to us in fragments. Makes him. I'll keep it down. Here to catch a game? What can I do? Poor Isaac. I'd really like to help. I don't know for sure, but I saw Elijah and his buddies put... They're hooligans from Fallbrook. They sweep into town. They usually loiter in the alley behind the yacht club. They're not allowed in the bar anymore. I bet you anything Isaac ran into trouble. Mr. Sanjar will be pleased to hear about it when you're done. I know he gets fed up with the...
Velma seem out of sorts too?
He's always cranky.
Who the fuck are you? This ain't...
Hey! What do you do? Berta already pissed by those crates to market. Listen, that purple-toothed twerp had it coming. And not that it... I don't think so.
Take your best shot.
Well, Celia, did...
That...
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse?
You've often...
Clear my schedule. This new... Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Out at Devil's Peak? If you're headed that far, I see you've brought the right woman for the job.
Damn right.
But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna. Now, there's no need to humor me. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing... Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resource.
So-called is right. We've got our hazards, but we're still here, damn it. The board took off without so much as a thought for the folks left behind.
And now you don't have to play by their rules. Sounds like a deal to me.
Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour.
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
A lot of good that'll do. They'll just find another reason to turn tail and abandon you.
Not if we secure the proper safeguards first.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's a two-pronged approach. The first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended. With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordinance.
Never realized fighting the bureaucracy could be this interesting.
It is quite the rush. In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in, these days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons. Do be careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptidons out there. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. What can I do for you? But that's terrible. What happened? But that means we won't be able to log their testimonies. If there's one thing I've been hoping to... Celia, I do hope you're taking notes. I've got...
Indeed, sir.
Still, your intervention in the matter is much appreciated. Please consider... I see. And... Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you? Then it's good that I keep such meticulous... I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws. Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2, but back then it was known as Terra 1. As you may have noticed, this planet has more than its share of hazards.
That ain't fair. They didn't leave on account of the hazards. They left on account of their cowardice. The hazards just gave them a reason to put to paper.
Sharp as ever, Nyoka. And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out. Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to, but there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up. It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire plant, creating the perfect environment for us to... That's what I thought. But the senior executives laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else. Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI.
Must have pissed off some real big suits to get stuck with that.
On the contrary, I wrote lots of very important reports on behalf of top MSI officials before I was able to achieve this position. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages. I don't think I realized how far they'd stoop. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare... I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from... Why wouldn't anyone? They own...
Yeah, that'd go a long way toward rebuilding our homes.
If you can't beat him, might as well join him and reach into their pockets.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation. I'm not a man to put pride before progress. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunity... Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us...
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes, it'll be easier to explain once we have the Bolt 52. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows, perhaps once we're restored...
It's straight bullshit is what it is. A fabrication rich folks use to preserve their investments. But
Nyoka has the right of it. It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off for the greater good. Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard to... What can I do for you?
What's up?